Okay, welcome everybody. So this is a continuation of the Senior Gold Selection group that we started 2 months ago, right? Back in, what was it, August? We went through August, we went through September, and then the decision was overwhelming that we would continue this group at least through the end of the year, and then we'll reevaluate after the end of the year and see what happens. I just wanted to say a couple different things here. One thing is this: I look forward to these calls each week. This is not a burden to me at all. This is actually a joy to me to be able to share this time with you guys. And one of the things that makes it so rewarding to me is watching you guys grow. Watching you guys grow. 1 minute. There we go. So one of the things is why this is such a joy to me to do this is because growth. I enjoy watching you guys grow. You guys help me grow by sharing this time with me. So I appreciate each one of you. One thing I want to point out, there will probably be more people on now than has been the last 2 months. And there's a couple reasons why. This group is, it's gaining people's attention. And here's one reason why: because of your growth. You guys are growing. There's fruit that's coming about from these calls that we're doing every Thursday. And not only that, at the end of every month, we have a report printed out of everybody on the team, everybody's points, how they did this month compared to last month, growth, decline, all of those things we take a look at. We look at all the numbers of everybody. So I will have to say that several that have been a part of this group the last 2 months, you guys were the leaders on the team. So compared to, which is amazing. I think that's so exciting to me, because for growth wise, you're looking at some of the leaders on the team right here, point wise, that grew. You guys are helping lead the charge for one team. So I applaud all of you guys for showing up. I applaud all you guys for putting in the work. When you work on yourself, it's a lot of work. It's not, and that's why most people don't do it because it's hard work. And so I applaud you guys for showing up. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Also, I was going to mention one other thing. Some of you on here maintained from the month before. And I want to just say something: maintaining rank is not something to be overlooked. It's not a small feat. It's kind of like a champion in boxing. You go and you win the championship, right? You win the belt. You win the heavyweight belt, right? You're the champion. Now what? Well, now you maintain. Now people are gunning for you. Now you have opposition. People want what you got, right? So then you have to maintain. So if you maintain rank, that is good. That's not a small feat. That, in my opinion, is a victory. So celebrate that. Maybe you had higher expectations than that. Okay, we'll work through that. But don't overlook maintaining rank. Maintaining rank is a big deal. So one thing I want to do, as many of you know, I like to have you guys share what's going on. So I want to hear, what were some of the victories either from last month at the end of September, or just in the last 2 months from these calls and things that you're noticing. Maybe it has to do with points. Maybe it has to do with overcoming a fear. Maybe it has to do with mindset. What do you got? Why don't you share with all of us some victories?
Well, I signed a VIP right on the last second of like at the very end of September. And that was a real blessing because she had she had reached out to me and asked me about Plexus, but she was so skeptical, like over the top skeptical. She goes, I am so skeptical. I don't like MLMs. I don't like vitamins. I don't like any of it. But she goes, but I'm really intrigued by your story because she goes, I knew you when I lived in Phoenix is when I started getting sick. So she goes, I knew you when you were getting sick and I saw you move to Missouri and get worse. She goes, I just watched you decline quickly. And she goes, and then I watched you get, healthier on Plexus. And she goes, and I love your posts and I'm just so intrigued. But when I was sharing with her, she was so skeptical and she kept like shooting down everything like I was saying, which was really upsetting me. And I felt like I was defensive. I felt like I was responding and I was so defensive and upset. So I actually got coached on her because I was getting so defensive, even knowing that she was skeptical. And so Emily Gibson actually worked through my mindset on this and helped me overcome being all defensive and making it about me and stuff. So I reached, and then I felt bad because I'm like, I responded and I was defending myself and that wasn't like it. I was making it about me and then I was kind of embarrassed and everything. But I reached out to her and I just said, hey, you may not be interested. That's totally fine. Either way, it's totally fine. But I did want to let you know that there are specials this month. And I told her about the specials. She responded right away. She goes, I'm trying to sign up. Can I call you? Can you help me? So I'm like, I know it's because I approached it. I kept in touch with her after that. She never responded to me. And I think just changing my mindset and making it not about me and not taking it personally, because Emily Gibson did really help me see it clearly to where I don't have to take it personally. It wasn't about me. It wasn't a jab at me. She warned me that she was really skeptical. So I was able to kind of keep in touch with her, even though she wasn't responding. And I figured, you know what, she'll probably never talk to me again. That's fine. I learned, because of that interaction, I learned. And I was really surprised. And then she was having trouble with her subscription. So I was actually chatting with her this morning. And she was telling me that she's only taking one Metaburn because she drinks coffee and she drinks soda. And she doesn't want all that caffeine. And so I said, well, maybe you can take 2 Metaburn instead of the soda, replace the soda. She goes, oh no, I'm not. So I'm like, oh, another challenge, because I've never had anyone like do that before. Usually people are like, oh, I eat healthy, So, but that was a huge win and it was a huge growth on my part to be able to overcome that, taking it so personally, everything that she said when I was trying to explain Plexus, and she kept coming back at a negative towards it. And I was like, ah.
Yeah. So there's a lot that you just shared. That was excellent. So first off, those are a lot of great victories in overcoming. And one thing I want to point out, we're going to talk about this a little bit today. This is we'll see what happens. I run things fairly loosely, but one of the ideas that I want to share today is talking about showing up intentionally. Showing up on purpose. How we show up affects how people respond, or if they respond. For example, there's a proverb, and I just lost it. Maybe it's Proverbs 15:1. I don't know, but I'd have to go back and look it up. Someone can look that up for me real quick. But it says, "A soft answer turns away wrath." Now, so the other person is the wrathful, angry person. But on our part, our job is to answer softly. So the way we show up in that situation can derail a person's anger, their wrath, right? So how we show up, even if someone sends us a message, or I'm super skeptical, or whatever, I don't like MLMs, or what, there's a whole list of things that people use, right? How we respond affects how they in turn respond to us. For example, you could have responded all defeated. Yeah, I understand. Angie says Proverbs. Hey, how about that? I was right. Perfect. So it's from one of the kids' books when they were little. That was one of the ones we memorized. So anyway, just totally lost my train of thought. I was so excited with my victory. That's a victory for me. I'm a celebrator. Um, Anyway, see, it's just the way life is. I don't know. What was
You were
I?
talking about how we show up.
Yeah, see, exactly. Sure. I'm not even showing up. Just how we show up. Now, you could have responded differently. She had some negativity. She had some issues with MLM. She has some issues with vitamins, all the things that she doesn't like. And you could have ignored it. You could have answered in a defeated way, but you didn't. You tackled it. You showed up. You gave information, you helped, and she was already signing up. And so the way we show up to stuff matters. For example, this is something my personal coach, I have a coach. I have a life coach. And he and I are not on the same wavelengths on many things. But what do I love about him? He asks the hard questions. And he pins me down to where I can't wiggle. Because I'm a great wiggler. I can wiggle out of stuff, right? We all do that, especially the hard stuff. And he's able to really pin me down and make me consider and think through and work through my issues in life. And I love that. So one of the things he taught me is that when I walk into a room, this is called showing up. And I think there's something to all this. There's something with in the spiritual realm, and I'm not going to claim to understand all of it. Sorry, I have a Plexus corporate office. I just hung up on them for you guys. So just let you know that they can wait. But he was teaching me when I walk in, say after work, when I walk into the house, my family can sense how I'm showing up at the house before I even walk into the room. They know if dad's mad, they know if dad's happy, because of how I'm showing up when I walk into the house, when I walk into the room. And they know whether they need to steer clear, or they know, hey, dad's in a really good mood. We can, joke and have a good time. So really there's power in how we show up to stuff, how we walk into a room, how we reach out to somebody, how we make a call, how we answer a question. All of those things in light of how we're showing up make a difference. And you showed up really well in that instance. So kudos to you. Good job, Jamie. Who else? What other victories do we have from either the last 2 months or end of September? Roberta.
I'll go. Yeah, you talking about the maintain. I did maintain gold. I was worried. I snuck in on the last day, I got a new person signed in on the last day to get me 100 points exactly. So if I could maintain everybody that I've signed up since in the last 6 months, who knows where I'd be? I'd be way up there. But so that's my issue, is trying to get the belief in people to give it more time. They give it a month, sometimes 2 weeks, it's driving me nuts. But that's my big thing right now, is I'm really trying to work on myself on how to get these people to stay with me. And I try to give them good customer service. I don't think it's that particularly, because I'll message them, and I'll message them on the phone. I message them on Facebook, and they just ignore me. They just, they won't answer you. So I'm not taking that totally personally. I feel like maybe I haven't found the right people yet, and I continuing on. One thing I did do, this is huge, because y'all, I am a penny pincher. I am a super penny pincher. So I do not like to spend money. So for me to spend money is huge. I went ahead and paid the $1,000 for the year for that Love, Serve, Grow program. And that was huge. That was huge for me to stick that money out. So I did that. It's not even been a week yet that I've been involved with that. And Justin, you're trumping them, because he has a meeting at noon Eastern. I'm on Eastern time. So that's your meeting's the same time as his every day this month. So next week I might do his because of what he's talking about next week. I kind of want to be on that one live. So this week I decided, well, I'll do the recording for that one. So next week I might miss you live and have to do your recording. But so you're battling the same time frame. I'm hoping next month it'll be different because they said that they switch the times out monthly, different days and different times for different people. But so that's my win, was maintaining the gold and sneaking it in, like I said, at the very last minute, and trying to regroup my head, how I'm thinking on things. And because I'm such a direct person, and I think maybe sometimes I scare people. So I'm trying to soften that up and come at a different angle, and just things like that, right? I'm doing my post. I'm out there, I'm posting, and I don't want to be advertising. So I've pulled back on sometime how I post, on the wording of my post, because sometimes I was, doing what they wanted me to do, right? Post it like this. And to me, sometimes that looks a little advertising. And I wanted to go back to the way it was. And I was trying to think, when I first started this, like my first month, I brought in 13 people, the second month, 9 people. So I'm trying to go back and think, what was I doing then? I was just being myself then and kind of putting it out there in a simple little statements. So that's what I'm kind of trying to go back to doing, that maybe is just pulling back a little bit and not being so what I call flamboyant. Just bring it back to being a simple little statement and being me, and just basically like talking to people. So that's where I'm at, I think.
Okay, cool. So maintaining gold, that's huge. So congratulations first off on that. I think that's a huge victory. The majority of people in all of Plexus never even make gold. So not only have you made gold, you're maintaining gold. So, congratulations on that. Again, it's not a small feat. That's a big victory. That should be celebrated. The Love, Serve, Grow, is that Bob Heilig? Ray Higdon, who is that? Bob Heilig? Okay. He has some good stuff. So, see what he has to say. As far as being yourself, you can't be anybody else. Like you can try to appease the masses by being, somebody else, acting like someone else, posting like somebody else, but you're really ripping the world off. And that goes for any of us. Like you're wired a certain way. You have certain experiences throughout life. You have certain skills. You have a certain mindset. That doesn't mean we can't improve. We should constantly be growing and improving. But you should be you. Like if God created you to do a certain thing and we're not doing it and sharing it with the world is losing out. He has a specific function and a specific job for each one of you on this call. He's wired you a certain way. He's allowed you to experience all the things you've experienced in your life up to this point for a purpose. And if we are not using that and we're trying to be someone else, we're short-circuiting God's program. They may be good experiences in life. They might be terrible experiences in life. However, they're experiences. And it's part of our experience. And so be yourself. Again, I'm not saying we can't grow. We should grow. I constantly want to grow. I want to improve. But I'm not going to, and this is something my coach helps me with, be yourself. Show up. I said, well, I'm kind of direct and I intimidate people. He said, then go intimidate people. Don't hold back. If you hold back, the people that need you most in life are not getting what they need. God has you in that circle for a reason. Maybe they
Can I tell a story real quick?
Sure.
I'll try to tell a real story real quick. Bottom line is, when you just said that, be direct, because sometimes people need to hear that. Just a couple weeks ago, I hate drama. I do not do drama. But anyways, this situation has been flowing on. So this one gal, she's making a lot of people upset, and people aren't wanting to help out with a certain situation now. because she's kind of run everybody off. Well, we were at the same place at the same time, and she cornered me and said, "Hey, Roberta, what do you think about the," well, I let her have it. Don't ask me what I think. That's a terrible thing. So I just opened up because I had been kind of tiptoeing around it and just leaving her alone and trying to stay away from her so I wouldn't say something bad because I knew it wasn't going to end well. So I just let her have it. Whatever, everybody. So the bottom line is, then I was talking to another one of my friends, and I did not know that she had a run-in with this person. And she was telling me about her run-in with her. I said, that is just, I'm sorry. She says, I'm not going to help anymore because of that person. I said, I'm sorry about that. So anyways, that person, the second person, the one that my friend that didn't want to help out anymore, she decided she would. Well, she had to contact that person because she's the coordinator of the volunteers. So she had to contact that person, and that person was very nice to her. So she messaged me back. She said, well, Roberta, she says, whatever you said, she says, I think it was absorbed. She said, because she was very nice. She said, it was like a flip-flop in personality. She said, I thought I was talking to a different person. So like you say, maybe sometimes they do need to hear the hard stuff, and hopefully it'll be okay.
Yeah, I mean, not everybody can be, the kingdom poet. Somebody needs to be Joab, commander of the army. I don't know. God wires us all certain ways. I don't know. There's a purpose in all of it. So I mean, but don't short circuit your network. Don't short circuit your family. Don't short circuit your team, and be yourself. And we're not going to make everybody happy. I'm not saying we should be pliable and just be molded into everybody's version of what we should be. And I'm not saying we shouldn't grow, but I'm just saying we should be who we are. We should be ourselves and not try to be somebody else. Your network, all of you listen to this, your network follows you. They like you. You add value to their life. They appreciate you they appreciate who you are. They don't want you to act like Megan, right? If they like Megan, they'll follow Megan, right? So like, be yourself. Don't mean not that you can't learn from one another, not that we can't grow again, but just be yourself. There is something, when a person is confident in their own shoes and they are confident with their own identity and who they are, and they're good with it, they walk with a power that most people don't possess. They walk with an authority. They're cool with who they are. They enjoy who they are. And they can walk with a peace and a confidence that most people don't walk in. You want to know what's attractive? That is attractive. Confidence is attractive. Identity, knowing who you are and walking in it, that is attractive to the masses. Not a perfect post. There is no perfect post. But a person who knows who they are and they're walking in it, now that is attractive. So who else has some victories for end of September, last 2 months? What do you got? Jessica Stevens, where are you at? I'm putting you on the spot.
Oh, I was just hopping on. I did not get the watch, which is fine because I didn't work like I was earning it. I did get 2 level 1s who joined, and a level 3 and a level 4. So and I, just like Roberta, ended at 102 on the very last day. I was not sure I was going to make gold. My last week was crazy full with work, coffee cart work and other stuff. And so I was just like, okay, Lord, it's just going to be where it is because I can't even get there. But anyway, so that did that. But I'm looking forward to this weekend. Wendy is coming. She's my sponsor. She's coming tomorrow night, and we are doing a sip and share on Saturday. I only have a few people who said they will come. A couple are already using the products, but that is totally fine with me. I feel like there just needs to be some connection with those who are using and those who are not signed up. I have lived multiple places, so I feel like I just have people spread out all over, and I don't really have a team so much here. I'm starting to get more, but so yeah, just hoping for that connection. And I think for me, a lot of it has been mindset growth in the last 2 months, more than just recruiting, and all of that is, getting to that point where it's even more so of kind of what Roberta talked about, the thoughts that I'm thinking about, the way people are responding. Like, it is what it is. I do my part, they can do their part, and we'll see where we end up. And I think the other part of it is, and I know Bob Heilig has started talking about this, and Emily Gibson, I've listened to some of her things, like the slowing down to speed up. And that resonates with me because I feel like sending 20 messages every day, I get to a point where I shut down and then I don't do anything for a couple of months because it doesn't feel good to me. And whatever the reason behind that, it just doesn't. And so I've found where if I can kind of invest in a few people and really invest in the people who are on my team already, to me, that feels better. And I'm willing to do that, even if it's slow. I mean, I've been doing this for 6 years and I'm at gold. So it's slow and it's fine, but it's moving forward and I'm ready to move past that. And we've talked about this on other calls. My husband's hours were cut. We just bought our house. So everything's been a little crazy, but that motivation to keep on. And we've kind of been back in a place where money has been tight like it used to be. It used to be super tight. He barely made anything. And so this month has been a reminder, like, I don't like living like that. I don't like the stress of balancing out. I mean, there's still a budget, of course, but like, there isn't that cushion of, if we want to grab a bite to eat somewhere, we can do that. And I'm having to say no about things that I haven't had to say no for a while. And the reminder that I don't like living under that stress. And we lived the majority of our 22 years of marriage, we've lived that way until the last 5 years or so with this job. And so, yeah, just that reminder that I don't want to go back to that. And I know that I have something that can help us in that way, like, do it. And I want to do it. So I think that's the mindset too, is that, like, I have to make more money. I have to do this. I have to do that. And I think you said it on one of our calls, talking about the difference between the have to and the want to. And when I really stepped back and analyzed that, like, I do want to. I can't imagine not being part of this company, this team. Yeah, I want to.
Perfect. Well, then go do it.
Yep.
When we want to do something, just go do it. Make it happen. It's up to us to do it. Like the whole accountability thing is great. And I think accountability is very important, but really I can't really hold anybody accountable who doesn't want to do it. Sometimes we choose accountability because we know it's the right thing. I'll tell you a quick story. I used to chew tobacco, so this is a really gross story, probably not gross, but whatever. So anyway, and I quit 11 and a half years ago. Cold turkey, boom, is over. I never touched it again. So it was awesome. But I knew I should have quit long before that, and I didn't. So I called this guy and I'm like, okay, because anyway, so this is great. You guys are going to learn so much about me. You're going to think this guy has got serious issues, and I do, but I'm working through them. So anyway, I call him like, hey, I need an accountability partner. I really need to quit chewing tobacco. He's like, okay. So my mind was, well, I know I should do that, but he's not going to call. Most accountability partners, they fall off the wagon. They don't call. They get caught up in stuff. And then then I'll be good. But because I tried, right? This dude called me every day. Like, he wore me out. I had to quit answering his calls. So I knew I needed the accountability, right? And I knew I should quit, but I really didn't want to. And all of his accountability didn't do me any good. It made me mad, actually. So I just quit answering his phone calls. But when I wanted to quit, I quit. And I quit that day. I remember exactly where I was. I was in our old house underneath the cold air return register in our living room. It was my son Benjamin's birthday. And I said, that's it. I want to be done. And I was done. So nothing wrong with accountability and those things. But when you want to do something, that's when it happens. So, I mean, good for you. You want to make it happen, go make it happen. I think that's great. When was the last time you ranked up to gold? Before September? You remember?
Terrible that I can't remember. I think it's been, I'm not sure if I hit it in July and August. I'd have to look real quick. It's only been a couple months, but I've kind of been like when I first hit it, I maintained it for probably 9 or 10 months.
Okay.
I think that was in 2020. And then I've kind of been in and out. And it's kind of what Roberta said, like when I look back at my back office, I'm like, geez, if I could keep people believing I would be senior gold, like there's enough people in the office to do that. But that's not how it happens, I know. But so it's not that I can't do it. It's just keeping it. And I think those times when I do a lot of work and then some of it feels not great. And so then I just shut down for like 2 months and don't do anything. So my goal now, I mean, obviously we've talked about it on all of these calls, and this whole year has been learning to be consistent and deciding
Mhm.
what I have to do. I mean, I can do hard things. I did 75 hard last year. And again, like what you just said with the stopping with the chewing, I mean, it just came to that. Like I just decided 75 days, here we go. I'm not starting over. So like, where's that when it comes to my plexus work? And so just finding all of those things.
Right. Well, congratulations on re-ranking. That's a major feat. That's a major victory. That's awesome. Who else has some victories end of September or the last couple of months? Anyone?
I about went into shock. Okay. It was the end of September and I was having an Usborne book party. Would really, really, really love to have on my team. She's with Usborne. And so I had invited one of my level 1 ambassadors. Her name's Natalie, and seriously about went into shock because I messaged her about attending the Usborne book party. Now, mind you, she has not ordered in over a year. And she responds with, well, her little one's turning 1 that day, but what about this reset? And my head literally kind of went into this tailspin because I was like, wait, what just happened? She turns around. I told her, I said, if you need help ordering, let me know. Well, I had to go back into my back office. I guess it was yesterday, day before yesterday, sometime. And I know it was over after October 1st. And I was looking because I was like, I was going through and messaging all of my level 1s and my 1 level 2 about the October breast cancer awareness with the collagen and active and all of that. And I went through and I'd messaged everybody and I was like, I was like, I had to go back to September because my order hadn't gone through yet. And all of the reports, like you said, don't show up. And I was like, wait a minute, why do I have 24 points? Because that's where I ended last month at. So why do I have 24 points? I only had 18. Like, where did the other 6 come from? Turns around, Natalie had ordered a reset for her and one for her husband. And I am so excited because I'm hoping that because she's mentioned when she first got started, she was interested in working the business. And then she has ghosted me for months about anything to do with plexus. And I was so excited because I was like, oh, I felt like this breath of hope's the only way I can put it, because she literally was like, yeah, it's my son's year birthday, but what about the reset? And I just, my brain is still trying to wrap around that days later, but I felt like that was a huge win, that, and I felt like I have grown in a mental capacity with my mindset and just different things through these calls over the last 2 months. I can tell I am stretching. And then Megan's challenge from the one team call Tuesday night, I literally messaged her. I'm like, hey, this like seriously stretched me, but I literally messaged 2 of my potentials about working the business that I'd reached out to. Ani, she's my Mexico connection. And then I picked up the phone and I called I'm like, hey, I really want you to do this business with me because we were put to a challenge the other night and to write down characteristics of our people that we would love to work with. And I said, you fit like the characteristics of who I would love to work with. And so she told me to give her until after her daughter's wedding, which is next weekend, to think about it. And I'm supposed to message her back. And like, it was like the scariest thing I did. I felt like I was like, I didn't know whether to throw up or just burst into tears, to be truthfully honest, before and after the phone call. Completely different level. So I can feel myself growing. But it's like, I think Jessica was saying, it's a mindset. You decide to do it. So yeah, those are my wins.
Awesome. There's a lot there. So let's go through one thing I want to mention really fast to everybody on here. Maybe you've been with this for 6 years. Maybe you've been with us for 6 weeks with Plexus. So one thing is the people in your virtual office, they restart all the time. The majority of people that I'm signing anymore are people that I've signed 5, 6, 7 years ago. So why did they quit? I don't know. They did, right? It wasn't a good time for them, or maybe there was a life event, or maybe finances got tight, whatever. It doesn't really matter. But what I do want to point out is that people restart all the time, especially as we introduce new products. New products are great for old customers. Like, we have a whole network of people within our virtual office. If you've been at this for any given time, there's a whole group of people right there that we can be reaching out to. So as we have a reset, as we have the berry flavored active, which is my favorite active now out of all the flavors, and the collagen, plus there's, I about shared something I shouldn't share. There's some other stuff too that I am taking. Maybe you'll see a glow on my face, but anyway, I can't share it. Anyway, those new products are good for old customers or people that have stopped in the past. Those are good things that we can use when we reach back out to people, you know? So I wanted to share that. The one thing is also just sharing on the reset. And this is a great, yeah, I did tease, sorry. Anyway, it'll come soon. The reset. So one thing I just want to mention is we're talking about reset with people. I think the reset's awesome. I'm getting ready to do it. I think this weekend. We just got my box in, so I'm going to do another reset this weekend. My goal is to do it once a quarter. And so this is my 4th quarter reset. I really enjoy it, but also when we're sharing reset with people, just be in mind that there's a lot of short-term victories in the reset, but there's life after reset. So we want to make sure we're staying in contact with people about life after reset. So if you do your reset and then someone goes back to all of their old habits, or they should continue on with some sort of health plan, health routine, diet change, supplement adding to continue on. The reset's great, but there is life after reset. So just keep that in mind as we're talking about reset with people. Another thing is when she messaged you or she ghosted you, I just want to correct that. She did not ghost you. Like, you personally were not ghosted. People are just busy. And sometimes it's a matter of timing. This is the busiest season I've ever been in. The funnest season I've ever been in so far as a parent, as a family, but it's the busiest season I've ever been in. People are just crazy busy. And I have barriers. So like, I have boundaries that we don't cross as far as our busyness, and some people don't. So I think we just need to remember, she didn't ghost you personally. She didn't ghost Amber. She probably got busy. Maybe it's not a priority for her right now, but she did not ghost you personally. And the other thing I want to say to Amber here is, when's her daughter's wedding? Next weekend?
Yes, her
When-
her daughter's wedding is on Saturday the 15th. Yeah, which I think is a Sunday.
When are you gonna message her back?
I will probably call her Monday because I know Sundays are really busy since they are pastoring, her and her husband. And they do have 9 children, so.
I would be putting that on my calendar. I'm gonna message Susie, whatever,
Yeah,
whatever the
gonna
Monday
put-
is.
I'm gonna put it as alarm on my phone to go off on that day. So that
Okay.
I know, and in my calendar.
Mhm.
So that,
Perfect. Okay. Let's see. I'm going over some messages here. All right, cool. All right, so it's 11:43. We're going to keep going. There's lots of, so one thing I wanted everybody to see, there's a lot of victories. There's a lot of victories showing up to these calls, showing up in your business, showing up in your personal growth, showing up when there's a challenge, showing up when you don't feel like showing up, right? All of those things produce fruit. And as far as your Plexus business, I mean, it all produces fruit in your Plexus business because the way we show up in life is typically how we show up in our Plexus business. If you're not showing up in your Plexus business, there's probably other areas in your life you're doing the same thing. You're holding back. I'm holding back, not just you, we are holding back. Why? We need to identify why. Fear, probably. It's probably the main thing, right? So what we're going to talk about really quick is showing up. How are we showing up in our Plexus business? Write that down. If you have a pencil and paper, write that question down. Or how did I show up in my Plexus business today? And at the end of the day, just go over that question. And answer it honestly at the end of the day. I didn't show up today. I showed up scared today, but I showed up, right? I showed up, I felt good, and I did all the things I was supposed to do today. I mean, answer that question at the end of each day. If we're on this call to grow and to grow our Plexus business, that's a question we're going to have to answer every single day. How did I show up in my Plexus business today? Did I show up on purpose? Did I show up intentionally? So here's a picture. Here's a couple pages. I'm not going to let you read it because I'll make sure it's all moving around so you can't read all of my private messages to myself. My coach has me write. The crazy thing is what Megan was sharing the other night on the team call about writing down like your IMs and all of those sorts of things. This is exactly what my coach had told me to do the day before, which is kind of interesting. It's almost like God was saying, okay, pay attention. I'm telling you twice. So I had to make sure I'm writing down my stuff. So I just write it down. And I'm writing down, my coach has me writing down how I showed up today. How did I show up today? Not just in Plexus, but really in my marriage, with my kids, with myself, right? In my community. Those are my top 5. Those are my personal top 5 priority areas in life. Me, my wife, my children, my business, and my community. How did I show up in those areas today? Because if we're holding back in one area, we're probably holding back in other areas also. So that's one thing I would encourage you to do. Just write that down. How did I show up in my Plexus business today? And then answer that each night honestly. And then go back and review. There's something powerful about writing. I've been talking to the kids about this. When we write, this is why typing and texting and sending memes and all those sorts of things, they're fun and they're easy and they're fast, but they have no soul. When you write stuff down, it's like your heart comes out, right? You have to think through what you're talking about. And if you're being honest when you're writing, there's just some power there. So write that down. And the thing is, I can't really answer the question for you. We know what to do in our Plexus business. We know the how-tos, right? Talk to people. We know we have great products to share. We know we have a business opportunity to share. So how are we showing up with those tools? And then start answering, answering those questions honestly is my recommendation in light of that. Again, show up. Show up intentionally, on purpose. We'll never get today back. You don't get to redo today tomorrow. Today's over. Tomorrow's tomorrow. Today's today. And for all eternity, we're going to have what we did for today. What did we do today? Did we use it? Did we use today? Or did we lose it? I don't know. All of us have to answer that as individuals, But the world deserves you to show up. They need you to show up. The world needs you to show up. You have things that the world needs. I have things that the world needs. And a lot of the world needs better gut health, and they need a side income. So, that's just part of what they need. They might need to be on a call like this. They might need to be at a Plexus event. They might need part of our community. We have an amazing community in Plexus, but especially this team. I put this team up against any team in Plexus. I have said that for years. I absolutely believe it. There's something special about this team. And I don't understand why we get to be a part of this team. I'm thankful we do. I'm thankful we get to be a part of this team. And so my encouragement to you today is show up today on purpose. Not respond as people ghost you, or not respond as, as people maybe say something or whatever. It doesn't really quit, but show up on purpose. Show up with intention. Today, I'm going to go do this, this, and this, and then go do it. Like Jessica was saying, I want to do it. All right, perfect. Go do it, right? On purpose. I'm going to go do this thing that I want to do. I'm going to do it on purpose. It almost puts you in the driver's seat, doesn't it? Rather than I'm going to respond to everything. No, I'm going to get in the driver's seat and I'm going to drive this thing. And I don't care how many roadblocks I got to go through. Or around, maybe. I don't know. Maybe the bridge is out. You don't want to go through too many. But the thing is, you're in the driver's seat. You decide today what you're going to do on purpose and what you're not. Are you going to drive the thing, or are we going to just respond to everything? Those are some great considerations. So that's my encouragement today. Also, this is the beginning of a fourth quarter for the year. Let's see what Jamie says here real fast. God literally moved us to Missouri to put me on this team. He put Plexus in my lap and reminded me of my friend who posted about gut health once. I was desperate, and my sponsor immediately set me up with Angie Ambrosetti. Perfect. Perfect. I think that's amazing. God made me do Plexus. And I didn't know why. I don't know. Going from the Army to road construction to a Zoom call with a bunch of women. It's a gift. I don't know. Who knows? I didn't script this thing. I'm in the driver's seat, but I have a GPS. God's telling me which direction to go. I just try to go in it, and just go with it. And God's done some amazing things with that. And I'm thankful for it, grateful. Absolutely grateful for it. So one thing I want to just share real quick also. So not only how are you showing up, the other thing is this is the beginning of the fourth quarter, still the beginning of the month. What's today, the 6th or something? 6th of the month. So consider, and don't take a lot of time considering this, but consider consider your goal for the month, your Plexus goal for the month. And that can be points, but make it more specific than points. Get it all the way down to reach outs. I'm going to do X number of reach outs a day, or I'm going to do X number of in-person meetings this month. Because all of that stuff is what translates into points. You need to be more specific when it comes to goals. I'm going to grow 20 points this month. Okay, great. How? If I'm doing a coaching call with you and we're one-on-one and I'm talking to you and I say, hey, what's your goals for this month? I want to grow by 20 points. Great. How are you going to do that? Okay, well, we got to work on that then. So like, be very specific. The points are that's the fruit of labor. We need to find out, we need to do the work that translates into points. And that would be talking with people. That would be sharing products. That would be posting. That would be following up. That would be doing in-person events, right? All of those things. So be very specific on what you're going to do this month and what you're going to do this quarter. How do you want to feel? Write this down, because emotions are powerful. They can be deceptive, but they're also very powerful. So you have to be careful. But how do you want to feel at the end of 2022 in light of your Plexus business? What kind of feeling do you want to experience? When the month ends, December 31st, 2022, the year is done. It's not coming back. It's over. What do you want to experience at that point? Just try to capture that feeling, try to capture that emotion of how you want to feel when for Central Standard Time, 11 p.m. last night of the month, all the points go back to 0. The year is over. How do you want to feel? What do you want to experience at that moment? Nobody wants to experience regret, but most experience regret because most aren't willing to tackle the things in their way. Most aren't willing to do the work it takes to experience that feeling. I don't think that's the case with this group. I think that this group is willing to do those things. I think that this group is capable of doing all the things that you set out to do. And you deserve to do it. You deserve it. So yeah, be writing out your goals for this month and for this quarter, and then just start evaluating how you want to feel at the end of the year, how you want to feel at the end of the month, and evaluate how you're showing up at the end of each day. So that's all I have for today. Who has anything? We got 5 minutes. Anybody have any questions on what I just shared or said? Is it scary? Anything that I just said scary? No. No, might be different, but it's not scary. We're just working through stuff. It's just life. Scary. Did you say scary? Who said? Is it scary, Jamie?
A little bit, but I find that when I do it scared, it's actually not scary. When I'm getting ready to do my work and I feel that fear and everything, and then I do it, I enjoy it and I feel accomplished and relief. And I'm like, that wasn't so bad, but I always initially feel scared.
Yeah, and that's just the way we've talked about this before. Usually those big scary things aren't that scary once we tackle them. We're not really afraid of the thing. We're afraid of the unknown. And that's why I think we should be people that are curious. Be curious. What if I
You know
fail?
what I find weird?
What?
Is for the most part, I'm pretty good now at this age of my life that I don't give a rip what people think about me. So when you talk about making the scary messages to people and stuff like that, for the most part, I'm really not scared to do that. I'll put it out there. I'll just lay it out there and I'll tell them what I feel or whatever, and tell them what I'm looking for and I don't feel scared doing that. But for some reason, when they come back at me and they say, well, I don't like the MLMs and and they start really like just blasting me on stuff, that's when it makes me feel bad. And for some reason, I'm not sure why that makes me feel so bad when it really shouldn't, because it's there. it's their lack of understanding. And I guess because it frustrates me because I can't make them understand what a good thing it is actually. And that it's no different than big corporations paying for advertisements on the TV and things like that, but they don't get it. They don't understand it. So that part, like I said, scary is not the right word, but I had no problem sending stuff. It's how they respond sometimes.
Well, I think that's normal. I don't, all of us want to be accepted, right? No one wants to be rejected on any level. No person wants to be rejected on any level. I don't want to be rejected. But rejections come, right? And it's just part of life. So the question really isn't, are we going to be rejected or turned down or whatever? You're going to. Let's just be honest. We're going to. People are going to say no. People are going to quit. People are going to talk about how bad an MLM or network marketing is. Okay. The real question is really not if those things are going to come. They're going to come, and they have already come to all of us in this business. If you've been working this business for any length of time, the question really is the question really is what am I going to do with that? Am I going to allow that to derail me? Or am I going to just bounce back up and keep moving forward? Right. So I think that's what we need. And that's really all we can control. We can't control other people's responses, but we can control what we do when we're rejected or when we're turned down or when we're, all the skepticism comes in, or, I've had people send me such crazy articles before about why I shouldn't do Plexus and how people are dying because of the product. I'm like, okay, cool. Thanks. Right. And so you just move on. We've had some doozies over the years, man. I could probably write a book. I should probably write a network marketing book. I think it's been insane. So, but what do you do with that? What's your driver? What's the thing driving you in this business? Is it people's responses? Or is it the potential of what this business can do for you? That's why I say be curious. Yeah, you might fail. Let's go find out. Because when you're curious, you might win. You might succeed. The only way to find out is if we go forward, if we do something with this thing. So we have to show up and do it. I don't know what the future holds for us. I'm going to keep showing up, though. I'm going to keep working towards my goals and things like that, and not get derailed by other people's opinions, right? I'll consider their opinion because they might be right. Sometimes our greatest skeptics or negative people sometimes there's an element of truth in what they're sharing. Maybe there's something there that I need to learn, but I have my set on certain goals, and I'm going to keep moving forward until I either hit the goal or God says, new goal. And I'm not going to get derailed because people in my immediate circle they don't know it yet, but they're depending on me hitting that goal. So anyway, I have got to run. I will get this recording up on the chat group, the message group. So if you know anybody that's wanting to check it out, be sure to share that with them. I know there's a lot of people who are going to catch the recording later. Again, like always, if there's anything that I can help out with between today and next week, feel free to send me a message. I'll be glad to coach you in any way that I can. I'll be glad to put a plan together, or if you have a goal set and you don't know exactly how to hit the goal, I'll be glad to put some sort of an action plan together with you to help you hit that goal. Whatever you need, just feel free to reach out. So I'm going to go. Thanks for showing up, and we will see you next week.